Good evening, it's Cindy Fodor here with Stamp the Love, and it is Make It Monday, and today's edition is our class edition because I will be having class tonight, and it's the 4 projects that we're doing at class. You can earn this packet for free when you place an order of $40 or more online, or of course, you can place that at class if you're attending the class. Don't forget, when you bump it up to $50, you get a free celebration item. There's another little perk that I'm going to add on here in a second as well. It's something new that just happened this week. So what else do I want to tell you? Oh, plus I'm going to show you a picture of a project that I just did today, because I learned it from one of our team meetings, and it's so cute. And you'll want to try it as well, especially if you got our Most Adored paper, or if you have some other Valentine paper. But it's a Valentine swag that you can do for your house, or you can do a small one just for a small area or something on your door. I'll show you a picture of that, and I will post a video later this week showing you how to do that, because it's so easy. You will be shocked. I'm not a big decor person just because of the time that it usually takes, but this one was so quick and easy, and I just had to try it, and it's adorable as well. So I'm going to just show you, let me just show you a quick, well, I have 2 pictures. This is a close-up version, this little heart swag, and then here's a straight-on one that you can't see as much, but that's my mantle in my stamp room. So I will show you later this week. Like I said, I'll do a quick little video. It's very fast on how I did this. Okay, just to keep this video short. Anyways, it's my Stampiversary. This week is my 28th Stampin' Up! Anniversary. And so after a 5th child, 4+ grandkids, thousands of workshops, and so many new friends later, I am still loving what I do and sharing what I love. And so I wanted to celebrate that with you. So this month, anybody who places an order of $50 or more is going to get a little thank you gift. It's going to be one of our embellishments in the mini catalog. So just a free little gift that will be coming to you. And again, like I said, if you when you place the order this month, you will also get the packet of projects if your order is $40 or more. So that will also be included. All right, so have an announcement. The winner of last week's drawing, who gets the card that we did last month, is Sylvia Noacker. Congratulations, Sylvia. I will get things in the mail to you this week, hopefully. I think that's it, and we will get started here. Let me flip over to my other screen, and let's go. Okay, we're going to start with the most difficult one first, or the one that everybody might think is the most difficult, and that is this one. I have a lot of steps pre-done because I don't want this video to get too long. So I will show you the background here. I'm using the distressed gold cardstock or paper, designer paper, and I went ahead and cut 2 of these little pieces from that we're going to use later. I've also embossed the little vanilla piece here and put the ribbon down and went ahead and glued that to our base card. So that's our base ready to go. I'm going to show you the part that is, I will show you some of the coloring. Okay, I'm not going to show you the whole process because I don't want to take too long, but I'm just creating a palette here with Pretty Peacock, some Shaded Spruce, and some Night of Navy. So those are our 3 colors that we're using on this card. And I wanted to leave a little bit more space in the center there just to mix my colors because I will be doing that somewhat. Now, I'm going to try to keep this here with us as I'm showing you this. I'm going to go ahead and start. First of all, I want to make sure that my brush is moist. And I do that I like to do it on my hand because I want to know how much water is going to be pooling on there. So I don't want too much. You can use a paper towel as well, but my hand, I can sense a little bit better how much I'm using. So I'm going to use some Pretty Peacocks. I'm just going to pull a little color from here. I'm going to mix it into my brush by working it in onto the, I'm just using an E block here, a stamp block. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my color here. Of course, I'm going to start where I want it the darkest. So I'm going to start in these areas where I want some extra shading. And then I will come back and just mix it in the center there with a little bit more water, and then bring this in and finish coloring my rose. By pressing down on the brush, you are releasing a little bit more water, and I have a little much, I need a little darker there, so I'm just going to come in and get a little bit more color. I'm just constantly adding water or getting more color, depending on what I want to happen on my card. Now, for the next rose, I want to show you whoops, I need just a little bit more here. Forgot this petal. I want to show you another technique that might be a little easier. It takes a little bit more time, but you have a little bit more control of the coloring. And that is just to take your wet brush. There's a little bit of color on here, but not too much. And go ahead and color in this whole area so that everything is wet. And then you won't have these big areas of color as you're coloring. Then you just come in and basically just touch those areas and the color will spread itself. And you will be able to just get a much quieter, what do I want to say, smoother look with your colors. And you could just leave it like that. I think that's really pretty too. I hopefully that you can see that. I'm just going to come in here now and just add a little bit more color to this so that it matches our other one a little bit more. Again, when I'm pulling color from this really strong pad here, I'm making sure I'm bringing it into my wet area of that I have already added water to, so that I'm not making it too strong as I put it on here. And if you're not sure, have a piece of scrap paper handy so that you can just tap it down before you color that. Okay, so let me just do the next one. The leaf I'm doing in the same color, but I'm going to add, let me just go ahead and do one of the leaves. I'm going to come over here and get some of the shaded spruce because I want it to be a little bit different shade, but I really, I want this to be very monochromatic, like not a lot of different colors. So I did my shading there. So that was my darkest part that I did first. And let's do the same over here. I'm going to just go along that edge, and then I can just color that in, get a little bit more color here. All right, so there's the one leaf. Let me do this last leaf here. All right, a little bit more peacock there. Okay, so there's our leaves. I'll do this last flower and then I will show you how I did these leaves and the hummingbird. You can tell, hopefully, that there's definitely more blue in that. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to do his throat first, and I'm going to use the Pretty Peacock that I have here, because I want to definitely keep that. And I'm going to add a little bit of my peacock here and a little bit on the tail feathers. And then I will go to my Night of Navy. Just get a little bit more of this here. Got a lot more water on here than anything else. All right, so I'm going to pull in some Night of Navy. You notice I'm not cleaning this as I go because they're all blues, greens, and I really don't care if they mix. Now this I definitely want to, again, work into my palette and get plenty of water with it. You can see how I'm working it into my brush there. And I'm going to start where I want it the darkest. So I'm going to start here on his belly and just pull the color up into the wing area. And I'm going to put a little bit up here on the top of his head. This is embossed in gold, so you'll notice that the water will just shy away from those embossed edges, and they'll dry. It'll dry in there, so I'm not worried about that. I'm going to get a little bit more color here to pull down into here. And then I'm going to go back to my peacock to get the rest of these wings up here. Got good and dark, didn't it? Okay, so that is really all it takes. And just a little more color down here. And then I'm going to die cut those out and they'll be ready to put on. Now, let me show you what I did for these leaves. I'm just going to get rid of a little bit of the navy there. I started out with, I believe, Pretty Peacock. So I'm going to get my brush wet here. And I'm just going to come in and I'm going to put a little bit of peacock in a couple of the leaves here. You can't do all of them at a time because everything will dry. I'm going to come in, grab some navy, and finish it out with navy. So I want it to be variegated from peacock to navy. And, excuse me. Okay, do you see how pretty that transition goes? So I'll come back, get some more peacock, start it. You do want your brush pretty wet so that it stays wet till you get to the next color. I had a little bit too much navy on there to start with, I believe. And I don't care if they're all different because this is going to make a wreath and they're all going to be a little variegated. But I love how the water creates a different look. In fact, even look at the Night of Navy here. That almost looks like a purple. If you want it to be more blue, you can just come in and add a little bit more blue. I'm going to go back to my peacock and again finish these leaves out by first putting the peacock color and then coming back in with a little bit of navy. And as the navy dries, it actually, like I said, it has that purplish color, purplish pink color to it. You can see on the card here. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more navy here because I want this to be more navy than purple. So we can add a little more color there. It's just so interesting how these colors look in different strengths. There we go. Got that a little bit darker. Okay, so I'm going to color the rest of these and then pop them out and then I'll show you how to put them all together. Okay, we have our pieces all colored and cut out and we're ready to put this together. I have embossed with Sympathy on my front piece here. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that in place because that's where we're going to create the wreath. And I think this is 3, let me just look here real quick. Yeah, this is 3.5 by 3.5. And then this is 3.5 by 1 inch for the other vanilla piece at the top. All right, so that covers the holes that we cut out there. We didn't have to waste any more paper to cut these. So I'm just going to first lay this out sort of to get an idea how I want it to look. Like so. So our hummingbird is going to go here. This is the most important because I got to make sure his wings get on here and I also don't want his beak to cover my saying. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in place just over top of this one. I'm going to take a little bit of my green glue and just squeeze a little under there. I think I got some out. There we go. Now I can go ahead and put someone here, put that one in place, Just tuck it under here. I'm just trying to make sure that this looks like a nice circular pattern. And then this has dimensionals, and I have those ready to go. Again, I don't want to cover my saying in there. There we go. Quick and easy. Not quick and easy, but very easy and very doable. It makes you feel like an artist, even if you have no idea what you're doing. Just a good copier. And I am going to add just a touch of glue, actually, a glue dot. You know, I don't like to use liquid glue on ribbons, especially this ribbon. This ribbon is very, has a wide woven pattern, so it would squish right through there. So I just want to hold that in place on the back side of that as well, so that doesn't scoot around. Okay. Okay, our next card is a masculine birthday card using our Trusty Tools bundle, and it's a shaker card. And we're also using Best Family Ever to do the dad. And let's see. Let's get started. These are just a few other cards done with the Trusty Tools bundle. It's just, there's so many ideas that you can use for guys in your life. So here's all of our things. I'm going to go ahead and get the designer paper glued on here real quick. This is paper that is free with Celebration that coordinates with this set. So you want to grab that as soon as possible if this is a set that you think that you would like in your toolbox. How did you like that little pun? And I'll give you measurements here. The pieces down this side are 3 7/8 inch wide. This is 1 inch. And these two pieces, the top two, just so you don't have to figure this on your own if you want to do this. This is 1 1/2. These two are 1 1/2. And hopefully they'll all fit like I think they should. This one is 2 inches by 2 7/8. Okay. So they're all 2 7/8 wide, just different widths to get just a different look. And okay, so that's the background. Now we're just going to create the window. And I cut this out. It is 3 1/4, 3 3 3/8 by 2 inches. And then I use the stitched, smallest stitched rectangle. And I'm going to just go ahead and put adhesive the whole way around this opening. I also saved the piece that I cut out there, and I'll show you why in a second. I just don't want that sticking out over the edge. Okay, so I wanted to keep it as close as I could to the opening here because I want to make sure that my window sheet sticks well. And we'll pop that on there like that. All right, so that's ready to go. Let's sort of decide where we want this to sit. And I want it about there. So I'm going to use this as my placement while I lay that aside. And I'm going to take my strips of adhesives, the long strips. I have them cut. And I'm going to place them right, not quite close to this edge. I don't want them to show whenever. I don't want you to really see them. So, and then I have 2 smaller pieces cut here, which I think I might not have quite long enough. It might be okay. I don't think any of the nails are going to fall out. I'll tell you what nails I got. Sent my husband to Lowe's or Home Depot and said, I need the tiniest nails you can find. I don't need this piece in here anymore. That was just to create my little, what do I want to say, little fence so that the nails can lay right in there. Just is a much easier way to do a shaker card if you can lay whatever you're putting in its place right away. So these are called wire nails. They are 19 by 1/2 inch. 19, I'm guessing, is a gauge. So I'm going to use about 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And now I can place my window over top, and I want to just go right down in the center of that. I also want to make sure it's nice and perpendicular to everything that's here. There we go. And I forgot to do one thing. I forgot to stamp this, and I think I did that on my sample when I was playing with it. So I'm just going to push this under here because it's the same size. And I'm going to try to stamp on top of that. So the happy birthday comes from the Best Family Ever stamp set. And I'm going to use black memento and just stamp right on the edge of this. You'd think if you did it messed up once, you would remember the next time, but sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. There we go. That doesn't look too bad. And then my hammer, I do have that stamped and die cut. And you can, I forgot to bring my stamps in here. There are stamps that you can stamp the handle, but for sake of speed right now, I'm just going to color this in with my gray granite blends, using the light gray granite for that part and the darker, actually I lied, that's the dark gray granite. This is the dark light pebbled path. This is the color of the cardstock, so that will. Alright, and then we just need some dimensionals, and I just have pieces here. We'll pop them on here. I usually like to cut my pieces first, but I'm being hasty. Let's see, let's use these smaller pieces over here for the handle. When you do that, you get them in the wrong spot. Peel that off. We can pop our, actually I didn't need one up here on my handle. Let me just scoot this down a little bit if I can. Might as well use it down here. Because what I did was I actually put some glue up here on the handle, because it's going to go over top of this piece that's already raised. There we go. And then I'll just put my little dad tag there, and voila, it'll be finished. How fun is that? I just love that with a little bit of nails in there. Fun to send to a guy, right? All right, on to the next one. Okay, our next card is with our watercolor melon set. That is also a celebration free gift. And we're going to create this card. So the first thing that I need to do, there's just some other cards done with that set. The first thing that I need to do is stamp using this cute little leaf pattern. And I'm just going to stamp down the edge. I'm using Lemon Lime Twist. And that one's going to just come up across here. Just overlapping it a little bit. And then I'm just going to come in with Pretty Peacock and bring it down this direction. And I'm overlapping again. Aren't these two colors yummy together? Something you just, I don't know, I just wouldn't have thought to put the yellowishness with the bluish of the peacock. I'll wash that then. Okay, so now that this one is finished, I am ready to emboss that. So I'll let that dry a little bit, and then we'll run that through the embossing folder. The one that I'm using is, oh, I forgot that this is also a free celebration item. It comes with Softly Sketch stamp set, and I think you'll agree that the pattern, well, I'll show it to you once I run it through, that the pattern is really stunning. I'm dropping everything. Okay, so let's go ahead and while that dries, let's stamp the watermelon part. And I have Garden Green and Real Red. And actually, I might want that little bit of lemon lime twist back. So let me stamp in Garden Green the watermelon. And you've seen me use this before. And you've probably heard me say that I don't care for the shape of this watermelon because it's not natural unless you put it in a shape, a form as it grows. But it's easy to change up. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that and that. And let's get our Real Red center here. And see if I can get that stamped down inside of there. And let's add a couple of seeds, because it's not a seedless one. There we go. And let's see, I need one more thing. I do need Pretty Peacock back here. I have this tiny, tiny strip, and I have a happy birthday stamp that I am using from Something Fancy. And it's this really nice, tiny, tiny birthday. So I'm going to try to stamp that on here. And actually, sometimes when you have something tiny like this, it works better if you put it on a dark piece of paper so that you can actually see where you're going. However, this stamp is it's not photopolymer. So I'm going to change that up. I forgot that it's not photopolymer. I'm going to actually just lay it on here. Did I just touch that down? I think I moved it, but I have two sides. Oh, it doesn't look too bad. Okay, so that's a little easier than trying to line it up. I just, yeah, totally changed my mind there. Let me just clean that off for a minute. All right, let's go ahead and, first of all, I'm going to punch this. If you have our old wide oval punch, it's 2 inches by 1 3/8. Works great for punching this out. If you don't, I suggest just cut it by hand and just cut off those more squared edges a little bit. That looks good too. It's really not hard to do. Oh, you know what? Before I cut that, I wanted to add a little bit of this lemon lime twist for the coloring. Isn't that cool? If you fill that in a little bit more, that fills in some of that white space. And you could do a little garden green if you'd rather have it darker. But yeah, I like sponging that in because I don't like a lot of white on my watermelons when I choose them. Only on the bottom part, right? And then this part, of course, you'll have to cut by hand because there's not a punch to do that. So, but it's not too hard. Just a little rounded edge. And the nice thing is it's not perfectly round so that you don't have to feel like you have to cut you know how circles are a pain in the butt to cut. Okay, so let's go ahead and pop a few dimensionals on there. I have some whole ones so I don't have to cut those edges on camera. I like using the edges. I just don't like to mess with them on camera. Okay, so let's see. We are ready to emboss and get that done, and then I will show you putting this together. Okay, so here's my plate. I got my 3D plate there. Here's our folder. Check out this beautiful pattern. And that's so pretty. So I just love that. Let's see. Well, one more thing I need to do. I need to tie this ribbon. And I'm just going to use my my ribbon maker because that just makes it a lot easier. And I want it over to the side, so I'm going to make it short on the one side. Just going to take this around here. I had my I don't know. My husband made some of these for me. My dad made some. My son made some. I think I'm just about out of them. I usually sell them at my retreats or class. But they just make a perfect little bow that doesn't come untied when you pull on it. So it's really the only way you can put this on your card and hope that it's not going to get messed up or pulled out. So I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive behind here. And get that ready to glue down. Again, usually when I have something that's embossed, I like to adhere everything because I don't want anything sticking up and being wavy. When the fibers of the paper get broken, they tend to want to bow, and I don't want that to happen, so I want to make sure that's glued down good. And my adhesive worked really well. You noticed a lot of times I noticed that I'm getting back here. I think my camera might be, sorry if I made you dizzy there. I think my camera was too far up and I was working close to me. What was I going to say? Usually I can't use this when I've embossed something, but the back of this is very smooth because pretty much only the front has the raised edges, so I was able to use that. Let's go ahead and get this part done, and we can pop that on the front of our card. Now this would be a fun card to make into an easel card if you chose to do that. You would just score this halfway so that, and only glue the bottom half on here, and you could stand it up like an easel. All right, so there we go. I'm going to go ahead and put my happy birthday greeting on here because if I don't, I might put my watermelon too far over. And I probably should have restamped that. That Y is a little messed up because I touched it down too soon. All right, there we go. Now we can get these guys on here. We have the greenery behind. Can't seem to get these off tonight. I want to put them both on at the same time because I want to make sure that I can get them both on here. Let's do it that way. There we go. Okay, and I forgot to bring my gems in, but I added some, I think these are the celebration gems actually, in Pool Party. And I just added a couple of gems on there. And we're finished. Quick and easy. Okay, last but not least is this cow card. And I know I have showed you this design on another card. But the cow card was the first card that I did with this actual fold. And so I am going to show you this as well, just because I changed a few things up on the inside. And I will show you these measurements again. Let me grab all of our supplies and walk you through this quickly. I do want to give you a little hint on our punches. When you have a builder punch like this, I know you can't see it with all the shininess. If you want to be able to stamp everything and punch it at one time, as we're going to do here on this square piece. So what I did was I punched out everything on this piece. You can see there. And then I laid these stamps in these holes, and I just placed my block on top of it so that now they're lined up perfectly inside of there. So that means when I go to stamp this, which I'm going to do here in a second, let's ink this up good. I would just want to be able to stamp the head and the body at the same time. So I can just pop it right in the middle of that. Now I will be able to line my punch right up on there, and everything will come out exactly as I want it, plus all the other little pieces. Okay, so that's your little tip for the day for builder punches. I don't think we need the horns. All right, so let's go ahead and do him quickly. I did color in these spots. I think it makes him cuter to have a little bit of darker, not all white. So you can do as much as you want or as little as you want. And then he has this little patch of hair here. Is it hair or is it fur? I think it's hair. Okay. Don't judge me on that. All right, let's get a little bit of glue here and we'll put his head on. And then I'll let that dry for a few seconds while we work on the card. All right, let me lay that there. All right, here's our card. We have lots of little pieces. If you remember from the previous card, we're going to go ahead. I forgot to tell you. So when I did the scoring, let me come back to that real quick because it's sort of important for this. So when I did the scoring, I did the 2 1/4 and the 2 1/2 and the 8 and the 8 1/4 on one side, and I flipped it over and I did the 5 and the 5 1/2 on the other side. And here's my reason. Because these two in here are going to fold this direction. Okay. And I don't need a sharp fold there. And then these two are going to fold in this direction to do that. Now the other one that's here, I just need, again, a little bit of a fold. So I'm just going to force that a little bit. And that just helps your card to stand up a little nicer. So you can just force that a little so that there's a slight little fold there. All right, so that it stands like this. All right, so let's go ahead and get our pieces for the inside. This is our front piece. Let me go ahead and glue this red on here. If you notice the swirly on the back here, this red design is from that Most Adored paper again that I showed you in the beginning. I made those hearts out of. Okay, so that's what that is. Now these are two different sizes. This one's 2 inches. This one's 2 1/4. Because when I scored this, these inside panels are a little bit bigger, and I decided that I wanted to be able to write on this panel, and I wanted to be able to stamp on this one. So, so the wider one, of course, goes on the inside panel. Let's do that one first. And there should be about an 1/8 inch around the whole edge of all of these pieces. And then this one, the 2 inch one, I should say 2 inch by 4. They're all 4 inches tall because the card is 4 1/4. And then my wider piece here will go there, and then my 2 inch piece will go here. This is for the front. Let's go ahead and stamp on that because you know I'm nervous about stamping before I adhere something. So I'm going to put my little milk can right there. I'm going to put the Milk It for All It's Worth, because you know you got to do that on your birthday, right? Or when you're sick. And then on our little tag for the front, let's go ahead and stamp that. It's your special day. Okay, so we have our stamping all done. Let me go ahead and get this inside all finished. It looks to me like I'm missing a piece. And that's just interesting because I just cut all this stuff today. Oh, there it is. I knew I was going to do that. It doesn't look like anything on this side. This is a piece for the center panel here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive on here. And we'll go ahead and put that in place. This is 3/8 of an inch by 4. Now our inside is all finished, just like that. I hope you enjoy this this fold as much as I do. I just think it's so cute. All right, so now these two pieces will go on the outside flap here. I think I missed that. And then one more. These, of course, the outside is, these pieces are all 2" because this panel is the 2 1/4 inch panel. All right, so there's our front. And then this piece, we are going to just add some dimensionals just down on the inside of this little piece, okay? That's the only place that this panel gets glued down. Now I do want to make sure that it's centered good, so I will try. If you need to measure, you can. I'm just going to eyeball it. All right, now this is just going to get glued on the front. Oops. The top of that is not very straight. So let me just see if I can trim that a little bit. All right, try that again. If this is straight, that top was not straight. And I do have my little bow already done on a glue dot here. Let's pop that on. And then our cow, we need some dimensionals for him, her, him. I think it's might be a heifer right now. And we'll pop that on there. And we'll add our gems. I just got some more of these because I am almost out of the black ones. My favorite. And we will pop 2 of those on there, a large one and a small one. Boom! All finished. And now it's so cute, and it looks like that, stands like that, and you're good to go. All right, thanks for joining me. I hope that you had fun with these projects. Don't forget that when you place an order this month, you will get these projects in the mail if your order's $40 or more. I am going to just pop over to here and remind you about the little heart banner that you can make. That's really easy. And I'm also going to remind you when you place your order of $50 or more this month, because it's my stamp-iversary, 28 years, you will get a pack of gems from our new mini catalog. So I'm not sure what will be available, but it will definitely be something that's new and hopefully new to you. All right, thank you very much for being a wonderful customer for all these years. Even if you're just new or you've been with me for 20 some years, you're welcome, and I'm really happy to have your friendship and be able to share with you, because like if I didn't have you, who would I show these fun things to, right?